Hello. Wow, I'm looking at myself in this laptop, and it's really weird. And I shouldn't be looking at myself directly because the volume sync is out, and so it looks as though I'm a few seconds behind, and it's really just off-putting. Would be the best way of saying it. However, it sort of falls really nicely into my subject that I want to talk about today, and that's staying in control. I was at, uh, uh, yeah, I got caught speeding, and I had a choice of taking 3 penalty points and a fine, or going on a driver's awareness course. So guess which I chose? You're right, the driver's awareness course. And it was talking about staying in control and staying in control of the vehicle, staying in control of yourself, and what makes us speed. Um, my thing was that I didn't know I was speeding. I didn't take notice of the road signs that I had gone from from a 40 to a 30. So I was still doing, well, I wasn't quite doing 40. I'd reduced it because I tried to try and stay under, but I was still doing more than 30 in the 30 miles an hour limit, so I got caught. But they asked about staying in control and what makes us lose control. So things came up about daydreaming, not paying attention, children being noisy or distracting, other people taking away our focus, being cut up and getting us angry, frustrated. We lose control. We might give a few gestures or say a few words that express our anger, and we may lose control. And whilst we're doing all of that, we're not taking into consideration the road conditions around us, and so therefore we are missing vital information to stay safe on the road that we're driving on because we have been distracted by various things. We may be distracted by bringing stresses into the car itself. We've had an argument with our partner, our children. We've gone in for a drive and we're really angry, and we're concentrating on that anger. We're just flying down the road and not looking at what's happening ahead of us. We're a little bit blind. Are we doing that in our day-to-day survival? Dealing with our children? Are we getting distracted by others? How do we stay in control to get what we need for our children? Do we know what we need for our children? So it's again, how do you get the control back when we've lost it? As you know, I used to lose it when my son would swear at me, answer back, or my daughter would go into her "I'm not talking," shrug shoulder, stare into space, no reaction whatsoever, and I want a reaction. I need an answer. I'm not getting it, or I'm not getting the answer I want. I would get angry, and I would lose control. I would have my own mini meltdown, as you know. How do we get this back to make sure we stay on track? So, breathe. Be in the moment. And don't worry, I'm not going into meditation. But we have to breathe, and we have to take control of that. But it's so simple saying breathe, but it's not going to work. If we're in a heightened state to sort of say, oh, for goodness sake, calm down. Although it works, when we're angry, it's not necessarily going to work. But we have to sort of maybe just check ourselves, sort of say, you're at it again, you've lost control, just take a few moments. Try and catch yourself when you're losing it. Be aware that you are losing control. Acknowledge it. Allow the feeling to come in, allow it to go, and then take control. But at least try and recognise that's what's happening. Once we've done that, we can start to get control. Now, the best part of control for me is when we're going to school meetings. If we have called a school meeting and we're going into it, remember It's your meeting. You know what you want to go in there and talk about. We do get confused, and I was terrible at this. I'd go into a school meeting and I want to talk about a particular thing that's happened, and I say, right, I'd like to talk about this. And the school will throw us off in a flash by saying, oh yeah, we had to talk to Sam about a behavioural incident that happened this morning or happened last week, and it was this. And it takes us down a road we weren't necessarily going to go into. This is a distracting technique from the school. They want to take us away from what our purpose is in there for, because we possibly have a really good, valid point to make, but they don't want to actually address that point because it is a good point. So they'll take us down another thing, and then we'll start talking about that, and then we'll get annoyed about it, and we'll get angry about it, but we've forgotten what we're going in for there for, and the school have now taken control of this meeting because they want to talk to us about their issues that they're having with our child, and what are we going to do about it, because they don't necessarily address what they're going to do about the issues that we have. So if you're going into and you've called a meeting, stay on track, go in with an agenda, don't get caught up in, say, oh wow, I wasn't aware of that, I'm glad you brought it to my attention. Can we put that to one side for now? We'll arrange another meeting for that particular incident because I want to talk about this today. That's what I've come in to talk about, and that's what we'd like to focus on. Thank you very much. Unless the incident they're talking about is more important and it becomes very apparent that it's more important because it's something that needs to be dealt with straight away. But if you've called a meeting, stick to that meeting and that subject matter you've gone on to for today. Again, if a school's called a meeting and they want to do that, don't distract them from their point. You may have loads of things you want to talk about and you want to get a particular scenario out to them. Let them talk about what they need to first so that you get sufficient time to deal with that, and then say, I have issues that I need to discuss as well. Do we have time to do that in this meeting, or do I need to make another meeting to do that? Therefore, it shows that you're giving the school respect to discuss what their issues are, because you're going to demand respect from them when you call a meeting. And so you've asked them, do they have time? No. Okay, let's make another appropriate time here and now to have this discussion, because there are points I need to get across. Or can we do it now? Do you have time? 9 out of 10, they don't have time. Or, well, I haven't, but I can bring so-and-so in because we can talk about it here, because it's probably more it's probably more efficient to talk to this person, because what you want to talk about they can deal with rather than myself. So I can bring them in because I know they're free. So yeah, if you've got time, yeah, we can do that now. But ask the question, keep control. Therefore, we don't get taking down particular lines that we're not prepared for, that we're not ready for, and we get annoyed when we leave a meeting, because we do get annoyed when we leave meetings. Why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say that? I was caught on the hop. Well, if we're prepared for the meetings, we shouldn't get caught out. And if they throw something in and say, oh, I wasn't expecting that question, can you just explain what you mean by that? Because I really don't think I could answer that straight away. I might need a bit of time to think about that. So just explain what you mean, sort of, I can understand. But if I don't understand it, I may have to come back to that. Okay, brilliant, thanks. Now, here's what I was wanting to say. Here's my agenda. Stick to your agenda. Put your bullet points down and stay with them. That would be very, very helpful and beneficial. With your children, staying on point is so important, staying in control. Don't get overwhelmed yourselves. If you do get overwhelmed, take a breather. Just say, look, I'm going to get upset here because I'm not explaining myself properly, and I feel like that I may react in a way that is not good for you. So can we take a break? Just give me 5 minutes and we'll come back, or we'll come back to this later. But I don't think it's right for me to continue because I've got myself annoyed, and I'm really sorry that I've got annoyed. We'll come back to it. That is staying in control. That's really difficult to do, but it's serving two purposes. It's saying, Oh, you get annoyed too, Mum. You get annoyed too, Dad. I thought it was only me that got annoyed. Okay. And this is how you deal with annoying? You can take a break? I don't have to continue it? Maybe. The child might not allow you to have that break, but at least I'm getting annoyed here. I need to back off because I don't want to shout at you. I don't want to say something that may um, annoy you even more. And it's not right. It's not fair for you. So I do need to take this break. But I do hear what you're saying, but it's just me. It's my fault for not being able to hold it together. But just give me 5 minutes, okay? That could diffuse whatever's going on just in the blink of an eye because you've acknowledged it. Oh, it's okay to get annoyed, and I'm not continuing it. I've seen it. We're stopping it, and I'll come back. So I'm not blaming you. You are not the person, because a lot of it, when we get angry in that, our children think we're getting angry at them, when actually we're getting angry at the situation. We're getting angry that actually I cannot deal with this. I'm angry at myself that I can't deal with this. I'm angry that I cannot control my child. I'm angry at, but you're not angry at your child as an individual. And that's what our child might think. You're angry at me. What have I done? I've done nothing wrong. And the messages get a little bit confusing. So staying in control is just that. Take the break when you need it. Acknowledge, catch yourself when you're getting like that, and stop yourself. And make the excuse of getting out. And it really is teaching our child, when I feel like this, stop. And it's okay. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to scream at the top of my voice because I need to get this feeling out. Wow, what a message to say to a child. It's okay to do that. Or I'm going to scream into this pillow. I just need to get this feeling outside that's inside me out because I've got myself really worked up and wound up and I'm ever so sorry. Do you mind if I just take this break? Wow. How powerful could that be? If you haven't tried it, try it. It works. Anyway, that was my little story of my morning. It's 7 o'clock this morning, sitting, learning how not to speed. Why should I not speed, etc., and staying in control. Yeah, it's good. It's enjoyable. Hopefully